Impending fault on Tinubu over student loan. My listeners, welcome to Afri's Concept TV. Depending on the time you're listening from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The news I have for you today is about President Tinubu and the student loan bill. He signed a student loan bill into law. News details. Just last week, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Access to Higher Education Act 2003, also known as the Student Loan Act, a law providing interest-free education loan for Nigerians seeking tertiary education. There are indications, however, that the newly signed act might not get the support of key stakeholders in the education sector, including the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that is ASU. The bill, sponsored by the Speaker of the Ninth House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, now the President's Chief of Staff. First introduced in 2016, the bill failed to gain traction. Reintroduced 3 years later in 2019, it also gained the attention of the National Assembly in November 2020. The act outlined how the funds would be generated, saved, and administered as well. The threshold of eligibility for the loan was low enough to accommodate the average Nigerian student. Similarly, the loan applications process was simple enough, consisting mainly of the submission of an application letter, a copy of the admission letter, and also 2 guarantor letters. The modality of repayment, however, was a different kettle of fish altogether. According to the Act, beneficiary of the loan begin repayment precisely 2 years after the completion of their NYSC program. A beneficiary shall remit 10% of their income to the fund at the end of every month. And also defaulters risk also 5,000 naira fine, a 2-year jail term, or both when they fail to repay this loan as we speak, according to the federal government. In the past few days, the Student Loan Act has come under scrutiny in its submission, as so called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to change the loan to a grant for the indigent students, insisting that the loan is impracticable and also unsustainable. The union said that the conditions for the loan are not practicable, adding that more than 90% of the students won't meet the stringent requirements to access repay the loan. Speaking on China's televisions on Sunday, the national president of ASU, Emmanuel Osodeke, said that it would have been better if we were giving it to those students who are very poor. It should be called a grant, not a loan. According to him, with more than 1 million students in Nigerian public universities, the loan cannot adequately cater for their tuition. Osodeke said that the idea of student loans came in 1972 and it was in a bank that was established. People who took loan never paid. You can go and investigate. In 1993 and 1994, the military enacted Decree 50 and also set up a student loan board. The National Assembly in 2004 and within a year, it went off. The money also disappeared as we speak then. We want to see how this one will be different. Speaking further, he said that we as a union also did research of countries also over the world and of the people who have benefited from this loan as we speak. They were committing suicide as well recently because they could not pay this loan back. This is unbelievable. Do you know that President Joe Biden has been trying to pay back the bank's loan of some who borrowed in the US? He paid back, and we never heard the news of student that refuse to pay will be jailed or pay fine of 5,000 or thereabouts. But see what is going on. This is why I said US is far better than Nigeria. That is why people are jackpying. They are really relocating to US because the system, the government of US is very, very far more better than that of Nigeria. It is better to look for alternative means of funding education than to incuba students whose parents earn 30,000 monthly with a loan. Can you imagine? How can they pay back? This loan should have been grant, not loan, because there are some students that their parents are not even working. Getting this loan means that it's better it's better they are jailed and paid. That's fine than getting the loan they can't even pay. Can you imagine? It should also be called a grant, as I've said before, since it is coming from the federation account and not that these people have access to it, and when they are graduating, they have every load behind them. And within 2 years, if they don't even pay back, they go to jail. This is very wrong. That is why we are talking about collective bargaining. Yes, collective bargaining. You have views from all sides. People bringing their own different views. This is my own view. I don't know about what you can or what you're going to say about this. If this should be called loan or grants. Yes, you can imagine a student that does not have a father, that's an orphan, getting this as a loan, using it to sponsor his or herself in school. At the end of the day, after graduation or graduating, you expect this person to give it to submit the loan or to pay back the loans he or she has collected. Where would you want this person that just graduated and have not gotten a job to get this loan paid? Yeah, for me, I'm even seeing the whole thing from a different perspective. A different perspective in the sense that before a nation embark on such an exercise, it has to ask several questions. First, what is the feasibility and possibility of it succeeding? Based on previous experiences, we saw something similar that what is the probability of success or failure? Yes, on the surface, it might appear very okay, but in terms of implementation, it will be very problematic. Yes, very, very problematic. We have a similar program than then under President Babangida, sorry to say, which they wanted to use to get people out of poverty. And that led to what? To the establishment of People's Bank, headed by Swãlløwêd, if you can remember. One of the most several Nigerians, that's Swãlløwêd, Swãlløwêd. But what was the fate of People's Bank? So based on the level of corruption in Nigeria, what mechanisms has the federal government put in place to ensure that there is no there is no repeat of the such? What have they put in place to ensure that there is no repeat of this such? That is the first question any person who wants to be sincere about a student loan should ask himself or herself. Yes. On this issue of the loan itself, good. If you give a loan and it will be returned, what is the guarantee that it will be returned? What is the guarantee that it will be returned? What has the government put in place to ensure that once a student finishes school, he will be employed? That is the problem we are facing in Nigeria as we speak. So viewers, what is your take on